Good morning, you guys. It's me, the Alpha Empath. And let me first start by saying I am so sorry for being late. I received a call and was asked to attend an emergency session, and I felt compelled to do it. That's why I'm late. I'm normally on around 8:30 every morning for my morning meditation. So for all of you guys that sent me emails and that sent me text messages and that dropped into my inbox and said, "Where the fuck is your morning meditation?" I am here. I am here. So this morning we're going to be talking about the sacred contract of prostitution, the sacred contract of being a hoe. Now listen, you guys, just yesterday, it's amazing how my life is. Just yesterday, one of my students had the nerve. This little heifer had the nerve to comment and tell me that I don't know nothing about being a hoe. She actually, her and another one of my students was talking about that I can't really teach them how to be a hoe because I've been married all my life and I don't have no hotels. I was offended by this. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I was fucking offended. How dare she try to take my whole card? Now it's amazing. I got kicked out of the Christian church. I got kicked out by my father, or I was disapproved of by my father because he considered me to be too much of a hoe. He considered me to be too much of a hoe. So then I go into the world, and the world says I ain't hoe enough. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like seriously, I'm too much of a hoe for the Christian church because I had sex outside of marriage. And then I'm not hoe enough for the world because I am so mad at this little heifer. Y'all, I'm not kidding y'all. I had to stay up and think about this shit. Have I really been a hoe? I have not. That's neither here nor there. Let me release that shit. But we are talking this morning about the sacred contract of being a hoe. Now, first of all, for the young lady that told me I wasn't hoe enough, everybody on this fucking planet has a sacred contract with this universe to be a little bit of a hoe. Now, how they manifest their whoredom is different. You see, I have not been a physical hoe simply because I was married, because I was taught in order to have sex, you got to be fucking married and shit. So I didn't really get to experience physical whoredom because I always felt guilty and all that bullshit, okay? I felt guilty and stuff. But I have been a hoe. My father named me aptly. He said, "Tiffany, you are a spiritual whore." And I have been. I have dillied and dallied in every form of spirituality that there is. Not only have I done that, but I have sold my soul for pennies. You see, being a hoe, we want to talk about the most superficial form of whoredom, which is a physical hoe. That is in spiritual world, that is the least way that you can be a fucking hoe. Now, I know you want to say, "Oh, let's condemn all the hoes." Let me tell you something. There is nothing like having a hoe for a friend because her stories are fucking funny. They fucking funny. They really are. But real whoredom is when you sell your fucking soul. That's what it is. And there are so many of us out here that are selling our souls for jobs that we fucking can't stand, but we need it for money. What is the fucking difference? Like literally, seriously, really think about this. A physical whore or a physical prostitute sells her temple. She sells her temple in order to sustain her life. So all these other people that's running around here that's selling their heart in order to sustain their life, isn't that the same thing? Isn't it? Now, if you are listening to me, don't be ashamed. Go ahead and mention this shit. Is it the same thing? But in your ego, we want to sit here and be a spiritual snob and look down on women and on men that are out here selling their bodies and shit and going around here fucking every goddamn body. But we don't want to recognize the spiritual whoredom that we engage in every day when we go ahead and sell our souls to jobs. Let's take it a little bit further. We go ahead and sell our souls for marriage. Oh, let me, you know what? Let me give up my dreams. Let me give up my sacred contracts. Let me give up the things that I know that I am sent here to do. Let me forget about all of that just so I can have the title of Mrs. in front of my name. And then when you marry him, you forget everything about yourself. Is that not whoredom? Is that not whoredom? I have sold myself to careers. I have. Let me tell you something. There are certain things that make your heart go, and you feel it. It kind of does this. It does this. And when it does that, you know that your spirit is engaged in whatever it is that you are doing. Your heart is into it. When I dance, my soul does this. Okay. And I know that I am engaging in something that is worthy of me. But for years, I served in a career that I hated. I'm finna be fucking honest. I fucking hated it. And I went over there and let them spiritually fuck me up for pennies. I wasn't even a high class hoe. I was a low class hoe. I'm sitting up here selling my authenticity, selling my spirit, selling my soul, and surrendering and submitting myself to a corporation that can never give a fuck about me. Sitting up here selling, surrendering my soul to a marriage that don't give a fuck about me, all for the sake of image. This is what I've done. My father, as I said, he called me a spiritual hoe all the time. He called me Jezebel, which is ironic because my car, I named it Jezebel, and I'm proud of it. But everything works together for our good. And there is a reason why we all have a little bit of hoe in us. See, there is something about when you are selling yourself for less than you are worth. I don't care if you do it physically. I don't care if you do it in relationships. I don't care if you do it in your career. There is something, it makes you feel this big. There is a spiritual consequence, whether you're doing it physically, whether you're doing it career-wise, there is a consequence, an emotional consequence, a spiritual consequence, a mental consequence that comes about when you have given yourself away for pennies. It happens. And some people never learn how to get out of that. Y'all just going to be lifelong hoes. And then you want to sit up here and turn your nose down on women that's being hoes. I call you a fucking hypocrite. That's what I call you. And I'm not going to bite my tongue about it. Let me tell you something. My father was a pimp. He was a pimp. You want to call me a motherfucking hoe? The fucking audacity of motherfucking ministers. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here or there, but he is right. I needed to learn how to stand up for myself. I needed to learn how to support my own spirituality. I did not know how to do this. And this is what the sacred contract of prostitution does. It does one thing. It makes you realize that I am worth more than I am giving myself for. It makes you realize that. One of my, an old student of mine, she listed in one of my groups just yesterday. She said something. Her name was Summer. She said something to the benefit of, I accepted the bare minimum in relationships because I had become accustomed to accepting the bare minimum in childhood. See, she recognized something. She recognized something. And here's what she recognized. She recognized that she, as a child, when she was, she couldn't do anything about it. She had become used and accustomed to giving herself away for nothing, the bare fucking minimum. And then she translated that over into personal relationships. And then she just woke up and she said, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. I'm no longer selling my heart, selling my pussy, selling my soul, selling my ambition, selling my talent for pennies on the dollar. You're not going to find me over in Fiesta no more. You're not going to find me on the clearance rack no more. You're going to find me, if you want to buy this fruit, you're going to find me in Whole Foods. You're not going to find me on the shelf with the picked over fruit because I'm no longer a prostitute. I'm no longer going to sell my soul. Now listen, So Tanisha's saying something. This is the heifer that tried to take my whole card. It's her, right here. There's a difference between being a whore and a prostitute. Well, Tanisha, when we go into our own coaching session, when we do vagina monologues, I want you to kind of speak on that. I do. I want you to speak on that. Okay. But let's talk about some of the spiritual ways that I have been a whore. Listen, I have engaged myself in Christianity. I have engaged myself into being a Muslim simply because I thought the man was cute, and I just wanted to see what that fucking meat was about. That's all it was. Don't judge me, okay? I have engaged myself in the Torah. I have engaged myself into being a Hebrew Israelite. I have engaged myself into a Sarah set. Let me tell you something. I even engaged myself into the worship. Don't judge me. My daddy said I was a spiritual hoe, okay? But this is how I understand coaching. This is how I understand the world. I did it. See, every woman knows that man that really know how to fuck you right, he know how to fuck you right because he done a lot of fucking. It is what it is, okay? And this is why ladies be attracted to bad boys, because they be thinking, oh, he gonna give me a fun time. That's what they be thinking. Well, that's how I am in the spirit. I have practiced a lot of different religions because I needed to understand spirituality, not one part of it, but all of it. And it helps me in my coaching practice. So at one point in my life, and this is how I am, excuse me. I had just left being a Hebrew Israelite. And I said, okay, what more spirituality is there for me? So there was a religion. It was called the religion of Penelope. And the religion of Penelope, Lord Jesus, please don't let me offend nobody. But if I do, I don't give a fuck, because they ain't going to drag me nowhere. But anyway, it was a religion called Penelope. And it is the worship of water. It is the worship of water. Now, if I'm going to be a spiritual hoe, there's only certain things or certain religions that I want to be fucked by. Okay. So a woman, she's telling me about the religion of Penelope. They are worshiping water. So I'm like, okay. Let me figure out what this shit is. I said, okay, so what we doing? Do we get like some robes or some shit? We gonna pray. We gonna meditate over the water. What the fuck we gonna do? And she said, yes. Tiffany, we worship water because water represents one of the first elements of life, and it is the life bringer. I'm like, okay, I'm here for that shit. I'm definitely here for it. And then I said, okay, so are we like, because we worship water, are we better than the people that worship fire? And she said, no, Tiffany, we're not better than the people that worship fire. I wasn't feeling that. And I said, well, okay, are we better than the people that worship mud, the earth people? Are we at least better than them? And she said, no, Tiffany, it's all one. We are all part of nature. And I said, I was kind of getting a little irritated. I said, okay, well, shit, is we protecting the fountain of youth or something? Do we have some special water that like brings back, does it bring back youth or some shit? What does it do? And she said, no, Tiffany, we just worship water. And I said, this is the motherfucking blandest religion that I didn't ever experience in my motherfucking life. I'm out this shit. I chunked them the motherfucking deuces. See, I like my religion just like I like men. I like my shit deep, savage, and well seasoned. That's what I liked. So then after that, I went ahead and started. I said, well, let me sit up here and let me see if I can practice being a Wiccan. Now, let me tell you why I like being a Wiccan. Y'all finna talk about me. God damn, y'all finna talk about me. Because in Christianity, I learned how to be spiritual, but I didn't learn how to be human. I didn't learn how that in Christianity, I felt ashamed for wanting nasty sex. That's what I wanted. And I felt like I had the spirit of Jezebel. That's literally what I thought. I didn't know how to be free and to release my inhibitions. So I met a guy by the name of Richard. They called him Ram. For a reason. They called him Ram for a reason. And he was telling me about what it was to be Wiccan. I was like, okay, so what we gonna do? We going into the forest. He's like, yeah, we going into the forest. We gonna take off our clothes. We gonna get butt naked. Yeah, we gonna get butt naked. What else we gonna do, Richard? We gonna sit up here and we gonna worship the moon. Okay, I like the moon. I'm all for that. And then he said, then we all gonna have sex after we sacrifice the animal. Hold up, Richard. Hold up, Richard. Okay, wait, hold up. Let me see if I got this shit right because I'm trying to practice my spiritual whoredom, right? Let me see if I got this shit right. What, Richard? We going into the forest. We all butt naked. We gonna sacrifice an animal, and then we all gonna have sex. He says, yes, Tiffany, that's what we gonna do. I said, but who gonna be watching out for the snakes while we all having sex? Who gonna be watching out for that shit? Because we can't be all running around in the forest hollering at the moon and shit and having sex. What about the snakes and shit that's gonna bite me in the crack of my ass? What about that shit? He says, Tiffany, we are all one with nature. That if it happens, it happens. And I was like, oh no, this religion, nope. Let me put up my church finger. Here it is. Let me bow my head. I got to get the fuck on up out of here. I can't do that shit either. I cannot do that shit either. But I did engage in it. See, the beauty or the sacred contract of being a prostitute, there is dual, and everything in life has duality in it. There's a part of it when you are giving yourself to something that you should not be giving yourself to, you experience shame. So you can call back your power and say, I will not sell myself for pennies on the dollar. But the beautiful part of this sacred contract of prostitution is it allows you to release your inhibitions and have some fucking fun and say, I'm finna fucking go do this shit simply because it's gonna be fucking fun for me. And I didn't really get to experience that a lot in Christianity. I also didn't get to experience having my orgy in my 3 days of being a Wiccan. It was only 3 days because as soon as they said we're gonna have an orgy in the forest and I thought about the snakes biting me in the crack of my ass, that shit was fucking over. It was fucking over. I can't roll like that. I can't roll like that at all. So I practice other shit. But here is the consistent thing that I found in every religion that I practice. You are going to find beautiful people in every fucking religion. And you are also going to find retarded, fanatical fucking people in every fucking religion. Every single one of them. And then it dawned on me, it is not the religion that is either good or bad. It is the people that are practicing the religion that make it good or bad based on the lessons that they are supposed to learn. When I learned how to get conscious in my sacred contract of being a prostitute, when I learned that I'm no longer going to indulge myself in something or give of myself in something that is not giving me back something that I want to receive, I stopped being a prostitute. I stopped. I had to believe that there is something in this world. This is the realest lady on the internet right now. I don't know who you are. But I fucking love you. I don't know who you fucking are, but I love you. I absolutely love you. Love you. Now, let me get back to what I'm saying, because this has already been 18 minutes. I said I ain't gonna go over 20. Okay. When I stopped giving my soul to relationships, to family members that did not believe in the law of reciprocity, I stopped being a prostitute. But I still enjoy my sacred contract of releasing my inhibitions. See, we are spirits. We are. But a lot of us, especially if you grew up in religion, you don't know how to be human. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful for the many people that surround themselves or connect themselves with me that help me to understand what it means to be human. If I'm going to have sex, I want to have nasty sex. That's what I want. I don't want my shit all covered up. I want the lights on. I want the covers off. I want to smell sweat. I want it all. And I am not going to allow any religion, any public opinion stop me from feeling that. When it comes to being human, I'm so grateful that I have surrounded myself with white folks. Let me tell you something. You say what the fuck you want to say about white folks, but them motherfuckers they gonna go jump off a cliff. I'm not gonna be jumping off that cliff with you, but I'll jump off a cliff with something tied around me because I ain't made like that. But I am going to enjoy my life. And I want to thank you for showing me how to enjoy my fucking life. Thank you. All these people that we look down upon, thank you for allowing us to see what it means to be human. The nastier, the better. Yes, I don't know who this is, but you might look. We here. We is here. The nastier, the better. I remember my father. He used to always, because I'm his eldest daughter, right? He has 5 daughters, and he used to always want to fix me up with some pastor son or some shit like that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Logically, him hooking me up with these people made sense. But for the human side of me, it did not. I said, is this pastor son gonna get mad at me if I tell him to stick his pinky in the crack of my ass and tickle me a little bit? Is he gonna get mad about that? Probably so. And then he gonna be thinking I'm a nasty hoe. But I'm tired of sacrificing my sexual freedom, my sexual liberty, selling my soul so you can call me a fucking wife. No. I'm gonna be a hoe with whoever I'm with, because I like being that part. But when you start selling yourself and you ain't getting shit in return, that's when you are the negative or in the shadow side of the sacred contract of a prostitute. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I love you. And I'm going to be on again tomorrow at 8:30. I'm going to not take on any more coaching sessions early in the morning because I want to be here for you guys. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:30. And if you like what I'm saying, share it. Share it. Also, follow me in my Facebook group, The Evolution of the Empath, or you can follow me on Instagram, The Alpha Empath. You can follow me on my personal coaching page on Facebook. It's called Alpha Empath Coaching. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.